Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Thank you so much for being here as always. Little bit of a different video than my usual ones. I will still continue to do geopolitical updates, but I also wanted to just start a new playlist discussing things that I've noticed, especially in recent times when it comes to, well, basically putting the blame on minorities, on immigrants, on the homeless. It's something that's been going around for quite some time. And, you know, when it comes to the immigration situation, so I know that lots of people that I've met anyways, sometimes they complain about, you know, immigrants taking jobs or, you know, sort of taking over certain neighborhoods and so on. But, you know, you have to think Canada has been an immigrant nation since its inception. That's how it was created. And, you know, most immigrants, when they come here, they can't get their diploma recognized for the big majority of them. And so they're left with either go back to the home country, which sometimes can be an option. Other times it can't. Other times it's, you know, whether it's due to war, whether it's due to, you know, poverty, etc., right? They can't go back. And they're left with doing jobs like McDonald's, working at Tim Hortons, working at, you know, really low paying jobs. And people may complain that, oh, you know, like my daughter or my son can't get a job because, you know, all these immigrants are taking my jobs. Well, you know, if you put yourself in their shoes, right, sometimes you just don't have a choice. That's just the reality, right? It's just you don't have a choice. And so I think if we look at it with more of an empathetic view, where it can happen to you or I, right? We're all very, very close from a few false moves, and then we're winding up in a similar situation, right? Like where you could lose a business, you could lose your home, you could wind up on the street, right? And that's the majority of people that enter homelessness. You know, there is a demographic that are dealing with substance abuse issues, mental health, but a lot of them also deal with financial trouble, right? Because it's increasingly difficult to live in Canada, right? It's increasingly difficult to acquire enough income to support your cost of life. And I don't know. I feel that instead of blaming others, just, you know, if you look at the big picture, if you look at, you know, your situation, you know, so what if, like, you can't find a job for your daughter or your son at Tim Hortons? Like, there's a bunch of other jobs, and I know that jobs have been difficult to come by of late, you know, with a lot of it going towards artificial intelligence or just not having enough openings. But, you know, they also, you know, immigrants build the backbone to our civilization, right? They, you know, they help the economy grow, they help the economy prosper, and they help people, you know, get through the day, right? Like if you're going, let's say, to the hospital, well, the janitor could come from the Congo, right? And there you go. Like, I don't see it as being an issue. I don't see the whole argument behind immigration causing issues, right? In the bigger picture of Canadian society to be that big of a problem. I see it as a benefit, right? Because we do need to change things too when it comes to, like, you know, types of degree we let in. And what I mean by that is we have enough IT, we have enough engineers, We don't need more. What we need is healthcare workers, special trades. So whether that be carpentry, an electrician, a carpenter, those kinds of jobs. People in medicine, people that are, that are doctors, especially because we're running low on healthcare workers. So if we could bring in those kinds of specialties, right, and actually recognize their degrees and let them work, that would just do us a world of good. Because yeah, we're seeing really big shortages of those kinds of people. Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to make a quick little video just to talk about that briefly, and to change over to the homeless situation. Obviously, it's a big problem in Ottawa, where I live. I live near Ottawa. It's a big problem in Toronto and Montreal, Vancouver, basically every major city. But it exploded. And those of you who live in those cities would recognize it. But from the pandemic on, it's been an explosion of new homelessness. The numbers have increased tremendously, and it doesn't seem to be getting solved, right? We come up with solutions sometimes to have like little homes for the people that are without a house, but there's very little effort to have subsidized housing to the people that want to find work and want to get out of the situation. There's not that many programs out there that actually promote solutions, right? That advocate for people in that situation, and that's sad. That needs to change, because just because you fall on hard times doesn't mean you can't pick yourself up and start over, right? But when the system doesn't have anything in place to actually help you achieve that, it's very difficult, right? It's like trying to do a mountain bike race, but you only have one tire on. It's not really doable. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I just wanted to just throw that out there. And yeah, and if you've experienced anything that I've mentioned, whether you're a newcomer to Canada or you may have dealt with being homeless, I'd love to hear your perspective and just hear your thoughts. But as always, thank you for being here. If you do like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And as always, take care.